Straight ahead at 5, a day to advocate for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. How all of us can do more to help recognize and fix the problem.
And a decision is made on whether to charge officers from Columbus, Ohio, who shot and killed a man in Milwaukee during last summer's Republican National Convention.
Plus, training those who train others to save lives. How Dane County first responders are trying to stop the bleed this month.
We welcome you to News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us at 5, everyone. Jeffrey Endress is now charged with first-degree intentional homicide after allegedly using his car to strike a family out walking their dog in Cottage Grove last Monday.
Court records say he hit and killed Cammie Hansen and her dog and seriously injured her husband and young son. Endra is now in the Dane County Jail on a $1 million cash bond. Our Maddie Heimsch live in Cottage Grove with more on this developing story. Maddie?
I have the criminal complaint here, and I want to go through some of the big takeaways as we learn more about the case. Now, like you guys said, Jeffrey Endress now charged with first-degree intentional homicide and 2 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. Those are different charges than the ones we heard about last week that were involving recklessly endangering safety and reckless homicide. The difference, this criminal complaint alleges that he crashed his car into the family with intention to kill them. Now, essentially what we learned is that Endress received records from the Cottage Grove Police Department about sensitive crimes in which the Hansen's child was allegedly abusing his own child. He learned about those charges, again, just hours before hitting the family. Now, there was a juvenile court case underway in which the 2 families were to have no contact with one another. Again, he learned more details about those crimes just before the crash. And I want to read you a statement within the criminal complaint from the father and husband of the Hansen family, who was here on Monday evening walking with his wife and son. He told police, quote, "I'm confident he was intentionally trying to kill us." Now, the husband and dad there, he just had a couple minor injuries. The son did go to the hospital and receive surgery for his injuries. He is now recovering. I'll be back on News 3 Now at 6 with more details as we continue to learn more about what happened here last Monday night. For now, reporting live in Cottage Grove, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Maddie, thank you. We turn to weather now. Warmer temperatures are on the way, but what goes up, of course, must come down. And Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is live on the weather patio right here from Madison's west side. Alex?
Eric, beautiful out here on the patio right now. I don't want these temperatures to go down. Unfortunately, though, well, I've got to give you the information that temperatures are going to take a bit of a nosedive as we go Wednesday into Thursday. You're probably seeing 64. Well, that's so close to normal for this time of year, but it isn't going to feel quite as nice as Tuesday, 72, and it's not going to feel as balmy as those temperatures getting up near 80 degrees once we get past Mom's Day going out into next week. In Maine weather, we're going to track that cool air and where it's coming from on Wednesday going into Thursday. Right now, 63 in Madison, 59 in Janesville. 50s to the east. They had some rain showers and clouds hanging on longer to the east. To the west, you got temperatures approaching 74 as you head out towards our friends in the La Crosse area. Here in Dane County, low 60s right now, but these will be the temperatures for a part of Wednesday, and they'll fall even further Wednesday evening. More on that in just a couple moments.
Thank you. At the state capitol today, hundreds gathered to share stories about their missing and murdered relatives.
It's part of an advocacy day for Indigenous women and girls. Our Will Keneally was at the Capitol and has more.
Well, I was thinking actually for this beautiful day of everyone coming here and all of creation, and basically asking our Great Spirit, our Machwatuk, to watch over us.
Watching over the community as members gather to remember their relatives who are missing or murdered.
It's healing, and they know that they're supported. We have her wellness here to provide those doses of healing and that support for our families and our survivors.
We pray upon it, and that tobacco and that smoke that comes from the tobacco goes up into the air and lifts it to our Great Spirit, so it answers our prayers.
It's a show of strength for members of the community and also an opportunity to bring attention to those missing and murdered Indigenous relatives.
Sharing their truth, speaking their truth to power. And for me, when we were organizing, what better place than our state's capital?
The group passed around a petition to create a specialized license plate to remember missing and murdered Indigenous women. The group also asked for more support for families impacted by the violence.
We need to keep up the momentum because we need to keep saying their names. Our missing and murdered loved ones, our relatives, we need to keep saying their names.
Reporting in downtown Madison, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Well, thank you. The group also wrapped red cloth around the Capitol as part of the celebration. A man is dead following a police shooting in Racine. Around 11 last night, Racine officers tried to arrest a wanted man on that city's southeast side. During a chase, the man crashed his car and left the vehicle with a handgun. Police say he tried to raise the gun. That's when a Racine officer shot him. The man died on the scene.
No charges will be filed against Columbus, Ohio police officers who fatally shot a man during last year's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. That's according to the Milwaukee County District Attorney. In July of last year, 14 officers were working crowd control at King Park in Milwaukee, and that's when Samuel Sharp was armed with knives and allegedly lunged at a man. After ordering Sharp to drop his weapons, officers opened fire when he continued to attack. The Milwaukee County District Attorney ruled the use of force was justified under state law. Millions of people who borrowed money for their education are at risk of having their benefits or wages garnished. Today, the Trump administration is restarting collection of defaulted federal student loans.
Amy Kiley reports on what experts say borrowers should do even if they don't think they've defaulted.
You can't just say, well, I think that'll all work itself out.
Collection of defaulted federal student loans resumes today after a 5-year pause related to the pandemic. Defaulting usually means missing payments for 270 days or more. The government says that can now lead to garnishment of state or federal benefits. It says it'll start garnishing wages this summer.
If your debt gets sent to collections, that goes onto your credit report, and that can impact your ability to get an apartment, a mortgage, a car loan, even some employer's check.
The Department of Education estimates about 5 million borrowers have defaulted on student loans. It says another 4 million are at least 90 days late on payments. Experts suggest all borrowers visit their loan provider's website to confirm their status and update their contact information. If a person is worried about defaulting, experts say they could look into an income-based repayment plan. Payment pauses, called deferment or forbearance, or consolidation or refinancing. The DOE says a person with a defaulted loan can learn their options through the Student Aid Office's Default Resolution Group. They might be able to restore their status through a process called rehabilitation.
It's time to, buckle down and figure out how you can make those payments.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Experts say it's also important to watch out for student loan-related scams.
Starting this month, low-flying yellow planes will treat parts of Buffalo, Grant, and Pepin counties for spongy moths, an invasive pest that harms trees and shrubs. Wisconsin's Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection says the organic spray is safe for people and animals, but allergy sufferers may want to stay indoors during spraying. The effort is part of a national program that has slowed the moth's spread by 87% over 20 years.
And it's Tick Awareness Week. Experts are urging Americans to protect themselves as tick-borne illnesses rise nationwide now. The National Pest Management Association warns many people don't realize ticks can spread diseases like Lyme and also alpha-gal syndrome, or how to safely remove ticks. To stay safe, use 20% DEET insect repellent, wear long sleeves, and check for ticks after spending any time outdoors. Keep grass short, remove overgrown vegetation to reduce areas where ticks can hide and thrive.
Well, May is Stop the Bleed month, and today Dane County first responders came together taking steps to learn some life-saving procedures.
And our Kyle Pozorski shows us how organizers hope this makes a difference.
In an emergency situation, the difference between life and death can be just minutes. It's why the Dane County Sheriff's Office and County Emergency Management Team hosted an event training those who train others.
Anyone can step up and be enabled, empowered to be the hero. It's not the first responders, it's those that are willing to step in and stop the bleed.
Dan Williams led the course, teaching participants who will now be able to instruct others in our area some life-saving measures. He says several events in recent years have increased interest in programs like these.
Unfortunately, it often takes a bad incident.
The most recent, the Abundant Life Christian School shooting, bringing more attention to those who want to help out.
Unfortunately, it's at the expense of, a bad thing that happened in our community, but it triggers a lot of energy towards helping us be better prepared in the future. From here, they can now take it back to their communities, take take it back to their services, take it back to their schools. And we're trying to get more of this public access equipment out to our communities, to our schools, to our public buildings, so that it becomes more normal to them.
In Madison, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. And to find more information on the national Stop the Bleed effort, you can go to stopthebleed.org. Well, today is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, of course, and it's not Mexican Independence Day. That's September 16th. The Cinco de Mayo commemorates the Mexican Army's victory over French forces at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862. The Mexican Army won despite being smaller and ill-equipped. In Mexico, Cinco de Mayo is observed with political speeches and battle reenactments. The day has evolved into one to celebrate Hispanic heritage. Many U.S. cities hold parades and festivities featuring mariachi music, dancing, and plenty of Mexican food.
Yes, now we're hungry.
Yes.
That looked really good. Coming up, Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is back next with a complete check of the forecast. Some nice weather is ahead.
And why the president is now considering reopening the infamous Alcatraz prison in San Francisco Bay. That story just ahead. And red numbers on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones falls almost 99 points. The NASDAQ down 133.5. S&P 500 loses 36. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Fort McCoy is postponing its annual Armed Forces Day open house. The Army Reserve says the day was originally scheduled for the 17th, but will be moved to a later date. Officials say staffing shortages and ongoing construction on Highway 21 factored into the delay. The new date has not been announced yet.
Spring hydrant flushing starting in McFarland this week, and you could end up with some stained clothes with that flushing. Your water could be discolored. McFarland Public Works recommends running your water until it clears, then double check your washing machine as well before you do any laundry. The DNR requires this annual hydrant clearing to remove mineral deposits and circulate pocketed air and water. Hydrant flushing should be all wrapped up by Friday.
Time is running out to apply for Wisconsin's Home Energy Assistance Program. With the heating season ending next Thursday, eligible residents can still get help with heating and electric bills. Benefits are income-based and crisis assistance is available year-round. The program helps reduce energy burdens and may cover HVAC repairs and weatherization. You can apply online at energybenefit.wi.gov to connect with your local agency. The Department of Homeland Security says it will pay undocumented migrants who leave the U.S. and return to their home countries. The Trump administration says this could incentivize people to leave the country voluntarily and decrease the number of migrants forcibly removed. Self-deportation includes a free one-way departure ticket and $1,000 to people who verify they have returned to their home country.
President Trump says he is directing officials to rebuild and reopen Alcatraz to, quote, house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. President Trump announced he wants to enlarge the infamous former prison, which sits in the middle of San Francisco Bay. He later told reporters it was, quote, just an idea due to what he called radicalized judges who want to ensure migrants being deported have due process. The White House said talks with the Justice Department are underway. The next steps, Alcatraz closed back in 1963, called too expensive to operate by federal prison officials.
All 133 cardinals voting in the conclave have arrived in Rome. 80% of the cardinals voting for the next pope were appointed by Pope Francis, shaping a diverse and less Eurocentric conclave. Representing 71 countries, they will begin voting on Wednesday. With electors from places like Tonga and South Sudan, the church faces a pivotal choice whether to continue Francis's reformist legacy or take a more conservative path. Now let's take a look at the weather. Just a few clouds on this Monday, but that's a small blip compared to the rest of the week, right?
Yeah,
Alex?
little blips on the way to southern Wisconsin temperature-wise. It's nestled in here, and the three things you need to know. Tuesday, a nice day. breezing cooler Wednesday and Thursday, just a touch, and then turning mild by the time we head towards the weekend again. So a little bit of a roller coaster in our temperature activity. Tuesday, 72 Madison, 73 Janesville. Look at that, basking at 76 degrees in the Wisconsin River Valley, even approaching 80 up by Camp Douglas. And then temperatures are going to take a different turn as we go into Wednesday. Here's why. Wednesday morning, winds coming in out of the north and from the east. That pulls in cool air off of Lake Michigan. And we'll track those temperatures as well in just a moment. As we get towards noon, these green lines get a little bit closer and they start moving a little bit faster. Those are those breezy conditions evolving as we go into Wednesday. Maybe even a couple showers popping up as this front comes through the area. At the 6 o'clock newscast, I'll give you the full name of this type of a front, but it blasts through the area as we go into Wednesday, giving us that brief blip of temperatures cooling off. Highs will likely be early in the day, maybe 1, 2 o'clock, around 70 in Madison. Low to mid 70s off towards the south and towards the west. To the east, temperatures 50s to near 60. Watch what happens as we go into Wednesday evening. That cool air rushes across parts of southern Wisconsin, staying warm near the Mississippi River, but cooler for the rest of the area as that cool air infiltrates in. Right now we got 63 in Madison, 59 in Janesville. Clouds, a couple showers hanging on over southwest or southeast Wisconsin today, keeping temperatures cooler to the south and to the east. We got 70s off towards the north and towards the west. For Viroqua, the Dells, this is where the clouds broke and the sun came out, allowing the temperatures to warm up a little bit more. We've got 63 in Madison, but you can really see here where the clouds hung on Madison and points to the east, western part of Dane County here. Upper 60s, right around 70, where the sun was able to shine and warming things up just a little bit more. Planning our evening here in Madison together, 60s tonight all the way down to 9 o'clock. Temperatures right around 60. Those clear skies, well, the spells of recipe action for a little bit of fog tonight. Light winds, any areas that saw a couple showers, don't be surprised to get a little patchy, dense fog to wake up to as we go into Tuesday morning, but that'll burn off quickly. Lows in the 40s. Again, that better chance for that patchy fog. Areas south and east of Madison where they saw those few light showers late last night and going into the morning. Here is that blip on the radar here, or I should say on the thermometer, not the radar. 69 Wednesday, 64 Thursday, 69 Friday, and then up into the mid 70s by the time we head towards Mom's Day as we head out towards Sunday, and then near 80 as we go out further into next week. Not good chances for rain, unfortunately, in the next 10 days. And I haven't done a viewer photo for a while. This one, Don, pretty photos here. I think we've got a sunset or perhaps a sunrise. Could have my astronomy wrong here, but take note. I do note that that is the moon, though, in the picture above that plant in Cottage Grove. Thanks, Don, for sending us that photo. And if you want to send us your weather photos this nice week of temperatures and sunny skies, we'd love to see those. Just scan that QR code right now if you're sitting at home at the table or on the couch, and then send us your weather photos. We'll show them on air. Beautiful week ahead, slightly cooler as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, but we'll look forward to the warm Mother's Day weekend coming up.
Alex, thank you. And still to come, jury selection underway in the sex trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs. We'll have an update from court next at 5.
Now at 5, moving forward.
Jury selection is underway in the sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs.
The entertainment mogul has been in custody since September on federal charges and has pleaded not guilty. Jared Hill reports from New York.
Sean Diddy Combs hugged his attorney after entering the courtroom on day one of jury selection in his federal criminal trial. Dressed in a sweater and a collared shirt, Combs observed the pool of potential jurors being questioned. 12 will decide his fate. 6 alternates will also be selected.
The job of both sides is, because no one is fair and impartial, is to try to find the people who are least partial.
Prospective jurors are being asked questions like whether they've been the victim of a crime or have feelings concerning violence and sexual assault. The disgraced entertainment mogul faces 5 charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. Prosecutors claim Combs drugged his alleged victims and forced them to engage in sexual acts.
When Combs didn't get his way, he was violent.
A key piece of evidence, the graphic hotel surveillance video in which Diddy is seen kicking and dragging his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hotel in 2016. He publicly apologized after CNN released the video last year.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
During the trial, Diddy is expected to come face-to-face with his 4 accusers. They include Cassie, who sued Diddy, accusing him of sexual assault and abuse over the span of a decade. While that lawsuit was settled out of court, it laid the groundwork for this criminal trial.
This is about this individual using a business to run a criminal enterprise.
Attorney Judy Saunders says defense lawyers will try to shift public perception. Last week, Combs rejected a plea deal. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The trial is expected to last 8 weeks. Opening statements are expected to begin on next Monday.
When we come back, Alex has a final check of the weather. Stay with us.
Ripple effect of the FAA staffing nightmare at Newark Liberty Airport is being felt nationwide. Why it's happening and what you should know if you're flying anytime soon.
And Eye on America goes to a Catholic megachurch to hear what they'd like from a new pope tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, new details on the homicide charges that have been filed against a man accused of using his car to kill a Cottage Grove woman. A closer look at the criminal complaint next hour.
Finally at 5, the force is strong at Randolph Heights Elementary in Minnesota, where students are learning more than just lightsaber moves. An after-school program there teaches Star Wars-inspired fencing using foam noodles. It's a good idea, emphasizing not just fun, but focus, self-restraint, and connection. Coach Braden Walker says it's more than battles. It's about building community, just like the movies.
And probably a story that was shot yesterday on May 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
May the 4th be with
exactly
you.
Right, yeah.
Alex is back as we take a final check of the forecast.
Yeah, mild tonight, mild as we go into Tuesday. Then the temperatures are going to take just a wee little dip as we go Wednesday into Thursday. So 40s tonight, a little patchy fog. We can't rule that out. Look at our temperatures as we go into Tuesday. Mid-70s west of Madison, 72 right here in Madison, 73 in Janesville. And then that wee little dip that I'm talking about, that's Wednesday going into Thursday in the 6 o'clock newscast. Stick around. I'll let you know what the name of that cold front is that's going to bring those temperatures a little bit cooler Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but back to the 70s we return. By the time we head out to Mother's Day, temperatures in the lower 70s, looking at light winds. Next chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday, and tonight at 10. We'll talk more about that long-term forecast for water. Farmers and gardeners probably wanted to tune in for that.
That's perfect for mom.
Beautiful.
Good stuff.
All right, Alex, thank you. We're back in a half hour. For News 3 Now at 6, stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.